Good evening. Welcome to APTN National News. I'm Melissa Ridgen. An Inuit organization says they've got proof that the Canadian government tried to kill the Inuktutut language 20 years ago. Joining us now from our Iqaluit Bureau is our Nunavut reporter Kent Driscoll. Kent, can you explain what the Mulroney government and Bill 25 have to do with each other?
Thanks, and yes, I can explain it, but it requires a little bit of a history lesson here, so follow along. Inuktutut is the land claims group that represents all of Nunavut's Inuit. Now, they recently started doing access to information requests on the discussions to form Nunavut. They received a now declassified copy of a federal cabinet meeting from March 1990. It includes instructions to the federal negotiator about what to offer and what to withhold with the formation of the Nunavut territory. In that document, it says that the federal negotiator was not supposed to, quote, provide general linguistic guarantees for the use of Inuktitut in government and the legal and educational system in the claims area. So, no recognition of Inuit language as an official language in Nunavut. Nunavut's negotiators signed the agreement in principle 1 month later. Now, it is important to point out that Nunavut did get some of those rights in through the side door. Nunavut inherited all the laws from the Northwest Territories when they divided. The Northwest Territories declared Inuktitut an official language of the territory in 1984. But that's not at the same level of constitutional protection that French and English receive in Canada. Now, you fast forward to today, NTI, Nunavut Tungavik, has been in a year-long battle with the government of Nunavut over Bill 25. Now, this was supposed to be the year that Inuktitut was available in every classroom in Nunavut, from kindergarten to grade 12. Now, that deadline was clearly going to be missed. So, through Bill 25, the government of Nunavut is trying to give themselves another 20 years to reach that original goal of Nunavut. NTI disagrees with this approach pretty vehemently. Now, the point NTI is trying to make, if Nunavut had constitutionally protected language rights, Bill 25 would have never happened. It couldn't have under the Constitution. Now, I talked with NTI President Luki Kutrik, and she thinks that Nunavut would have been a very different place if the federal recognition had have been on the table. She told us, quote, I think when Canada was creating the nation, they looked at Quebec and talked about it as a distinct society with a distinct culture. I think the same sorts of things need to be looked at in terms of Nunavut. Nunavut is a distinct society, and it's us Inuit that make up Nunavut and speak a different language. That language needs to be supported. So, while it might be a 30-year-old cabinet document, the rights and status of Inuit could have been very different if the negotiator had have had the chance to offer equal language footing. Back to you in Winnipeg.
Interesting discovery there, Kent. Last week, Grassy Narrows Chief Rudy Turtle met Indigenous Services Minister Mark Miller. The subject was a familiar one. When will a mercury treatment centre be built in the community? The question has plagued the Canadian government for years. Today, a new MP for the Kenora riding brought up the question during question period.
Mr. Speaker, the people of Grassy Narrows First Nation in my riding of Kenora have been suffering with the effects of mercury contamination for decades. Now, in 2017, this government promised a treatment centre to support the community. It is now nearly 2020, Mr. Speaker, and we have still seen no action. Could the Minister of Indigenous Services please tell the House when the government will finally deliver on their promise and deliver support for this community?
Honourable Minister of Indigenous Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I first want to congratulate the member opposite on his election and, importantly, his advocacy in this matter. I'm glad to have had the opportunity to have met with Chief Turtle last week. We had a good, productive conversation. In the meeting, I reiterated my commitment and that of the Prime Minister's to building a mercury treatment facility, and that funding is not an obstacle. We share a will to move forward, and I look forward to working with Chief Turtle and the community to get this facility built, and I'll have an update to the House in short order. Thank you.
The Honourable Member for Kelowna Lake.
We want to hear what you think. Here's how you can continue the conversation. You can send your emails to news@aptn.ca. You can find us online at aptnnews.ca and on youtube.com/aptnnews. You can also follow APTN News on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram for more Indigenous news. A hockey matchup between two Cape Breton Midget A teams in Shetty Camp recently had a lot of people talking about what was said on the ice. A 16-year-old Indigenous player says he was the target of racial slurs during the game. His father wants Hockey Nova Scotia to make it stop. CTV's Kyle Moore has the details.
The Emira Center is the home of the Northside Vikings, and today they are in the spotlight because of disturbing allegations involving some of their players.
One of the players said all natives look like turds in their helmets and that they should go back to where they came from. We shouldn't be playing hockey.
Logan Prosper is from Wegama First Nation and is a member of the Cape Breton West Midget A Islanders. He alleges the comments not only came from players on the ice, but from parents in the stands as well.
Their parents were saying the same thing to me as their kids. Like, they were telling me, he's just one of them. He's just one of them. They kept telling the rest to kick me out.
The Northside Minor Hockey Association is not commenting on the incident. Instead, they said they have forwarded the case to Hockey Nova Scotia. Prosper's father, Philip, took to social media, angry and upset about the alleged comments directed to his son. It's been shared hundreds of times.
The fact that the coaches and the referees especially, made it seem like they were powerless to do anything.
Hockey Nova Scotia says they are aware of the social media posts alleging racist behavior at a minor hockey game over the weekend. They say they do not take situations like this lightly and that their risk management team is investigating.
You're always trying to get into under the opponent's skin and whatnot, and there's smack talk involved. But, I mean, this is way over the line, way beyond what's acceptable.
Logan Prosper says this is not the first time he's had racial comments directed his way and has thought about leaving the game altogether.
I wanted to stop. I'm sick of it. I mean, it's been happening to me forever now. And, like, I have brothers in hockey, like, younger brothers, and I don't want it to happen to them, my cousins, any other, I just want everyone to feel equal in hockey, everyone just for fun.
Hockey Nova Scotia says the rink should be a welcoming place for all participants and that racism and harassment have no place in the game many Canadians love.
If you're doing last-minute Christmas shopping, we've got some tips on how to not get hacked if you're doing that online. That's after the break, but first, here's tomorrow's weather forecast. Off to the east coast, we've got 5 and rain in Fredericton, 11 and rain in Charlottetown. Happy Valley Goose Bay is snow and -3 degrees, Kuujjuaq -15 and snow. Val-d'Or -13 with snow, Chibougamau -8 and snow. Toronto 8 and cloud, we've got 3 and snow in North Bay. -21 and sunshine for Sulico, -26 and sunny in Big Trout Lake. -25 and sunny for God's Lake, Norway House and Puckatawagan. -20 for Barons River and Princess Harbour, -21 and clear in Brandon. -19 and clear skies in Estevan, -20 for Regina and Saskatoon, sunny skies. -26 for Buffalo Narrows and La Ronge, -24 and clear in Meadow Lake. Welcome back. 'Tis the season to be jolly, of course, and for spending. It's also the season for hackers to get access to your bank card or your credit card. In Canada, the number of cyber-related crimes like fraud and identity theft rises annually. APTN's Chris McIntyre tells us how to keep your personal information safe so you can enjoy some holiday cheer.
The holiday season is upon us, and that means stores and websites will have an increase in people browsing for the perfect sale. These days, you can use a credit card to book a trip abroad, or with the tap of a debit card, you can buy the things that you've had your eye on. With all this simplicity comes a very serious risk to your personal information.
There's no oversight on it, so a traditional...
Sebastian Pau is an investigator for the Yukon Information and Privacy Commissioner. Pau says cyber criminals use holidays as a time to prey on people's personal information.
During the holidays, it's a good time for scammers to cash in. They know there's a lot of commerce going on, both online and offline. So they really take opportunity of this time of year to bring up new fake websites or to put some kind of skimming device on your ATM. There's many ways they can profit, but try to profit they will.
But there are some things that consumers can do when shopping online.
If you end up on a website and they try to rush you through the checkout process, take some time to actually scrutinize that the deal is real, that the website is real, and that the website has a good reputation. Don't reuse passwords online. because they will get, once one account is compromised, all of your accounts are compromised, and that's something you do not want. Never give your social insurance number or your driver's license numbers online. There is absolutely no need for any web store to collect that kind of information.
To protect yourself when shopping at stores, always limit the amount of information you give. If they ask for an email address, just politely decline. Also, keep an eye on your bank statements and notify the bank immediately if you notice any suspicious transactions.
I did have an issue earlier this year where there was a very small amount put on my credit card from Miami, which, like $1. Hadn't been in Miami, hadn't spent $1, but I was able to call the bank right away. They got everything changed. So
I think I'm a bit more cautious in terms of going to websites I know and sort of not trying to find those sort of really cheap deals that may be somewhat less than squeaky clean.
I usually use my Visa, but yeah, I don't know what to do really to keep myself like. I guess I would just use my computer at home, not so much my phone.
I'm just pretty much a non-consumer, so it's a lifestyle thing for me.
Everyone has different spending habits, but knowing what red flags to look for when shopping at stores and online will surely keep you warm throughout the holiday season. Chris McIntyre, APTN National News, Whitehorse.
Urban Indigenous housing in Halifax is leaving some tenants exposed to mold. The province there says that funding is on the way, but for one Mi'kmaq mother, the wait has already been too long. Here's Angel Moore.
Water. Now, maintenance has taken a look at
this. This is in the bedroom of Melissa Prosper's teenage son. Their home has severe water damage from a leaky roof. They've been waiting a year for repairs.
It would be nice if we had a supportive housing structure in place. But right now, this is not working. Something needs to be done.
Brian DiGiacomo is the executive director of Taiwak Housing Association, a nonprofit organization that manages urban Indigenous housing. In 2009, the provincial government froze Taiwak's subsidy. He says there's not enough funds to maintain the 54 properties.
It's been a desperate struggle and a desperate concern, both for Taiwak Housing Association and for the tenants that occupy our residences. Halifax, we have an old and aging housing stock, and it's in need of major repairs and renovations. And
Prosper has been living here for 8 years. There's water damage in almost every room.
You can see our problems the past year have been mold. And we'll just pull this down. This is contact paper that was actually in the back.
She said recent repairs were poorly done.
This is our new kitchen counter that was installed a few weeks ago. And if you take a closer look, you can see it's all bubbling up. And today I just noticed that there's also mold growing underneath it.
The conditions have been hard on Prosper's 8-year-old daughter, Grace.
It's really embarrassing because they don't fix anything up, and it's just... I'm afraid I'm going to get bullied because all of this.
The single mother is speaking out for the sake of her children.
You can't put up with this anymore. We need to stand up. We need to fight for our rights. And we need proper housing immediately. I mean, this is shameful living like this.
The province of Nova Scotia is investing $7.3 million of federal and provincial funds as part of a 3-year action plan to repair over 111 Taiwak units by 2028.
And now what we're optimistic about is that we are going to be able to rectify these situations that have existed in the past with people that are having maintenance issues.
DiGiacomo expects to get the funding next year and hire a contract manager to repair the units. In an email statement, the province says every Nova Scotian deserves a safe and affordable place to call home. Prosper does not yet know when she and her children will have a mold-free home. Angel Moore, APTN National News, Chibuktuk, Halifax.
To Vancouver, an auction benefiting urban Indigenous youth was held over the weekend, and as APTN's Tina House reports, the annual event was a huge success.
Going once, 2,000 going twice, last and final call, sold for 2,000.
This is the 13th year that the Latimer Gallery is hosting the annual Bentwood Box auction. Peter Latimer, who owns the gallery, says each Bentwood box was given to 17 different Indigenous artists to do whatever they wanted. The first year they raised $500, and now the event has raised over $500,000. Every penny is benefiting the Urban Native Youth Association.
We see works from artists that they would never do, and that is so valuable to the artists. So Anya is one side that's benefiting from this, but these artists creating these pieces are also benefiting from the idea of having no strings attached to the work they're doing.
And work like George Littlechild's Bentwood box showcases the issue of murdered and missing women and girls, and an ancient traditional game that Haida artist Corey Bullpit recreated. And this box from artist Veronica Wachter is a youth who went through their Overly Creative Minds program at Anya. The Urban Native Youth Association was established 30 years ago, and it's located in East Vancouver, but it's outgrown its space. Their dream is to turn this empty lot into a Native Youth Center on land that they own. It's located right next door. This 3D promotional video showcases what it would look like and features a basketball court, a healing center, art classes, and affordable rental units. And these auctions are going to help them realize this dream.
All the funds that are donated, continues to support our programs with our youth, and, the youth deserve the programming. The youth deserve the funds to be able to come into a space and have a place that they feel safe and connected.
Rayanne Lebrun is one of those youth that was a client of Anya, and now she works there.
Anya has helped me in so many different ways grow. It has helped me become the individual I am today by showing me courage, love, strength, but reminding me that I need to keep following my dreams and really believing in me.
We've made a long-term commitment to Anya that this event and all the proceeds from this event will go to Anya until that youth center is built.
Roughly $85,000 was raised at the latest auction for Anya. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
It's time for us to take another break, but when we come back, a holiday light display that has deep meaning for a northern BC community, and here's the rest of tomorrow's weather. To northern Alberta, we've got -29 and sunny for Fort Chip, -9 and snowy Grand Prairie. -10 and snow for Edmonton, -2 mix of sun and cloud in Lethbridge and Calgary. 7 and sunshine for Vancouver, 1 and sunny in Bella Coola. -14 and snow in Fort Nelson, -6s for Smithers and Prince Rupert. -19 and snow in Dawson City, -22 and in Old Crow, sunny skies. -24 and snow in Wrigley, -30 and clear in Yellowknife. -23 for Tuktoyaktuk and Sax Harbor. -28 and snow for Baker's Lake, -27 and snow for Whale Cove. Pangertung, -8 and snow. Igloolik, -24 and clear skies. Goya Haven, -28 and clear. Welcome back. A bridge at the Nisga'a Village in northwest BC is lit up for the holiday season. It's an annual event that started 7 years ago after a loss. Now the lights have a deep meaning to the community. APTN's Lee Wilson reports.
Since 2013, the Lasem Suspension Bridge is decorated during the holidays. The bridge is in Gitlin Silk, one of 4 villages in the Nisga'a Nation, northern BC. The lights honor lost loved ones of the region. Co-organizer Lena Griffin shares the tragic event that inspired the community to light up the Lasems.
Paulina Faith Robinson, and she died very suddenly, and she was only 20 when she passed, and in her short 20 years she touched every single person in all 4 of the communities along the Nass River, along the Lasems. The picture of Paulina.
After the loss of Paulina Robinson, Griffin and co-organizer Tanya Azak were searching for a way to lift up their community. An idea came from a famous bridge located in North Vancouver.
And we were wondering what we could do to help lift spirits and kind of bring some joy, even just a fraction, back into our communities. And we saw a picture of the Capilano Suspension Bridge all lit up, and we thought, hey, we have a suspension bridge, why don't we do the same?
Together, they reached out to the Nisga'a Nation for donations, and they received enough to light up half the bridge and power it by a gas generator.
we put a call out that night and asked for help, some donations, support in any way possible, and that's how Light Up Lissams was born.
Families send pictures of those they want to memorialize to Light Up the Sims, and they are printed for members to place on the bridge, or organizers do so if requested.
So this is my dad
Isaac
right here.
experienced a personal loss of her father.
I know what it feels like to have that void in my life, and for the first year I had to step away, and then came back the year after and was able to put my dad's picture on the bridge.
This year,
And
the
this
bridge
is
has
my
a deeper
Auntie
meaning for
JC, who
Griffin,
passed away
as she is also processing a loss.
When one person passes away, we all feel the void, no matter where that person resides. And I do have a much more personal connection. My father recently passed away in June, and I don't have the capacity yet to put his picture on the bridge, but I hope soon. This is a
Today,
picture of
organizers
loved
are
ones
thankful
from
for
Hartley Bay.
volunteers and monetary donations for new lights, as well as power outlets from local businesses. They hope the Light Up tradition carries on in the future, providing a memorial and comfort for those who need it during the season.
To bring solace, to bring unity, to spread kindness, really, to remind everybody that Christmas is joyous for some, but for others it is a struggle.
Lee Wilson, APTN National News, Gitwin-Silk, British Columbia.
You may have already brought out your favorite movies to get you in the holiday spirit. This week, the RCMP officers, a few RCMP officers have gone viral with a crime prevention video showing one of them dressed up as Dr. Seuss's classic character, the Grinch.
Every who in Ridge Meadows loved Christmas a lot, but the Grinch had a plan, a sinister plot.
The video uses the Grinch's antics to touch on themes like impaired driving, burglary, vehicle theft, and protecting children from strangers online.
Have been left unlocked, with a plan now hatched and beer in.
Time magazine has announced the shortlist for 2019's Person of the Year. Among this year's candidates are youth climate activist Greta Thunberg and Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg. Top United States political figures make up nearly half of the list, including the anonymous CIA whistleblower who triggered the impeachment inquiry into U.S. President Donald Trump. The magazine will reveal the name of the person who has most influenced the world this year on Wednesday. That is your Monday evening news. If you missed anything over the weekend, you can always visit our website, aptnnews.ca. I'm Melissa Ridgen. Have a great night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.